We'll take it from here and we will do the usual intros. So first up is Sean. How are you doing, Sean?
Hi guys, Sean from the Complicated Wrists with some underscores in there. I'm from Washington, D.C. and today I'm wearing the Planet Ocean. See that? Sorry.
And then next up on my screen is Edwin. Show us your chair, show us what you're wearing.
Hello, I'm Edwin. I don't own any chairs. I'm completely dead inside. Kill me. I'm wearing the Giri 24 from Mal's, which is cool.
All right, is this which colours this one you've got?
This one is black like my soul. It's
okay.
real good.
I'm glad you're just as cheery as ever then today.
Yes.
This is where I have to remember this is live and keep my mouth shut.
I'm glad things are looking
No,
up.
it's okay. I'm reviewing a different one. It's fine.
I didn't mean
All
that.
right, okay.
Oh, did you not mean that?
No, I didn't.
No.
Well, I mean, it's true anyway, but yeah, okay.
Okay, right. I have no idea what you're talking about, but Philologus, you're next one up. Where are you and what are you wearing?
Hi guys, Philologus here. Walrus Watch. I'm from Singapore, and I'm wearing the Monta Triumph.
Very good.
Yeah, the silver dial one. Thank you.
Good stuff. And then we have Ralph.
Hi, Ralph, coolpep_watches on Instagram. I'm from Dubai, and this is what I am wearing. There we go. Grand Seiko Spring Dive. SPG something and numbers.
And then Derek.
Hey, Derek Hager from Brooklyn, New York. And today I'm wearing the Swatch Q.
Ooh.
This one got stuck in like a pandemic shipping hole for months, so I just got it like a month ago.
Cool, very nice. Dave, where are you? Who are you? You're not a special guest today.
Apparently not. No.
Today,
I'm Dave. I'm not far away from Ricky, and I'm further away from you, so that's quite good. And
Yeah.
I'm wearing a. Are we going to call it GLC or JJ, whatever you want to call it?
Jaeger.
Yeah.
You have to say Jaeger.
Jaeger Le Coutre. In my best Scottish accent. Le Coutre. And it's a lot of words. Stroke moon something. Yeah. Whatever.
Okay.
Two
Cool.
bases, and it's not really a reversal because you can't play polo with it because you just break the other watch if you play polo with it.
That's
So
fine. Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine.
Glad we're not making more of that particular myth.
Glaswegians don't use polo.
Yeah.
Polo. Glaswegians don't use hammers for playing polo with.
Absolutely. And Arthur, did I miss you out? I did. Arthur.
I guess so. Hey,
Yeah,
I'm Arthur.
You're in one order on one screen and a different order on the other screen. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all good. I'm still here. Arthur Tick Tick Broom on Instagram, and it's a real shame. As soon as we went live, I realized I'd forgotten to put a watch on because I'm in a beach house in Florida and I haven't worn shoes in 2 weeks. So watch wasn't top on my list, but
Okay,
here we go.
Fair enough. And fresh out of his kitchen cabinet, Ricky, how are you doing and what are you wearing?
Can you tell
what's
what it
that?
is yet?
Ooh, yes.
Black Casio. Yeah, Ralph's looking for one of them.
Yeah, the
Is it?
Casio, right?
Yep.
Black.
The black can't see nothing one. Doing okay. Trying a new setup with the GH5 and an HDMI converter. So we'll see how horrible this is and if the battery cuts off.
All right, okay, so you might not be joining us for the whole show, is what you're saying. Good stuff. Right, well, let's just start as we mean to continue. We have some stuff that came out today. Well, it came out yesterday, but it's not due out to the 17th. So we're ahead of the
Oh
game.
man.
I
Dave,
got
this is all your fault.
got such stick for making sure that I didn't leak this watch and mention anything about it before the 17th.
We didn't even show you this watch.
Yeah,
That's
you
'cause-
refused.
You've got the ability to retain your water like a 70-year-old male.
I'm not sure why I've got this reputation of giving away secrets. Because
Because you give away secrets.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what? Anyway,
that'll do it.
that'll do it. So this is the Zenith Bamford times Blackbadger.
Old Holness.
David, the Bob Holness, the Blockbuster edition.
It's a blockbuster. I'll have a pee, please, Bob.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know this particular reference, this guy here used to host a very famous game show in the UK called Bob Holness. He also used to play James Bond on the radio back in the day. And anyway, the joke is that this looks a bit like this. And he used to have a famous catchphrase, which was, "Can I have a pee, please, Bob?" Because you used to ask for the letters on the board. I assume no one of our international audience has ever seen this as a game. This didn't travel the world.
I mean, not post U3, no.
Being syndicated. Yeah. Anyway, so Dave, Ricky, you've had hands on with this. Tell us a story. What do you think?
Dave, hit him with it.
Oh, yeah, I wish I could hit him. So this has actually been in the works for quite a while. I'm quite good friends with James, and who is Blackbadger, and he was the one responsible for the case on this. James's kind of background is working with unusual materials of all different sorts, along with being quite famous for doing a lot of loom work. He's done some work with brands like Sarpaneva, MB&F, various other brands, and doing their loom work. But he's done a few kind of collabs with the guys at Bamford. Recently, you probably have seen the Fordite dial watch, and more recently the coffee dial watch. I think this case he made, it was nearly 2 years ago that this case was actually first kind of muted, and it's taken this long for it to kind of finally evolve into a watch. The watch that you're seeing the pictures of here is actually the prototype, so the actual production watches will be slightly different in as much as the case that you can see in this watch is made from a piece of stock bar of superconductor. The cases that are going to be used, or the cases that are going to be made for the actual production watches, the bar stock that they're going to use is a piece that they've had made specifically for being used for the cases. So there'll be a slight kind of difference to the aesthetic of it. Very similar, but slightly different, whereas, as I say, this is that prototype. And it's pretty unusual that, any brand will let a prototype piece, usually you'll maybe get an early sample, but to actually physically get the prototype piece is a little bit unusual.
And this is the only one in existence in the world as well.
Yep, absolutely. And I think I won't use the word rough. Rough's an unfair word, but you can tell it's an unfinished product. You can tell it's very much a prototype because there's a couple of, for want of a better phrase again, there's a couple of rough edges to it. Mm-hmm. The case is pretty much bob on, but it's not exactly as it will be. And the dial, they've only actually printed 2 sample dials, of which this is one. And again, if you look pretty carefully under a loop on it, you'll find there's a few kind of inconsistencies on it, but they're well aware of that, and they were straight up with us about it in the first place. So, and the case back, I think, is going to be slightly different. It will be display case back, but it'll have the Bamford Watch Department logo and the Blackbadger logo on it, a bit like on the case back of the Fordite and the coffee dialed ones that they've used as well. So there are a few differences to the production one, but it's a nice piece. I actually really like it. It wears well on the wrist. It's based on a pre-existing shape of a Zenith case. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. And Ricky got quite a lot of hands time on it as well.
And as I understand it, the one thing that'll be different is this will be slightly different. Slightly more
I don't know if anyone's seen it. If you have a look on either the Bamford or the Blackbadger Instagrams, you'll see the blank that they use to cut this case, and effectively the filaments, which are the kind of little hexagony type shapes that you can see running through it, are the core of it. The difference is that the copper that surrounds that is what you're seeing on the tips of the lugs here, whereas the piece they've had made has got a bigger core effectively, so that you'll get that hexagonal kind of superconductor filament structure going right to the edge of the case. And also the infills between the filaments on this, you'll see on this that they've got kind of silver infill. You'll have a copper infill between the parts on the actual production one, so you will still have that gold on it, but it won't be like this. I actually quite like it with the copper tips. I talked to James about this, and I quite like that aesthetic. But as I said, they're going for that kind of effect all over it, which will be equally as cool, to be honest.
Dave, what's the weight like on this, like compared to a steel case watch?
It's actually
just the same.
We didn't weigh. I don't think we actually weighed it, but it didn't.
It felt the same on wrist.
I was going to say it cool. Didn't feel material any different. If anything, it maybe felt probably in between titanium and steel in terms of weight. so it's
Okay.
it's not ridiculously heavy by any stretch, and it's not a
Right.
particularly, it's not a particularly chunky case. It's not a diver or anything, so the case on it's
Sure.
not exceptionally big from that point of view. But yeah,
Rick,
it
play
wears
the
really
rest of the
nicely.
video.
Cool.
I will play the rest of it. The only concern I have about playing the rest of the video is sometimes YouTube doesn't like it and cuts everything off, but we'll give it a bash. And so if we disappear, it's because YouTube has cottoned on that we're broadcasting something from YouTube on YouTube. And occasionally it doesn't like that, but that's the rest of the video there. I'll not put the sound on.
No.
Just listen to the silence.
Listen to the silence. Now, like you said, the dial is a bit the worst part of it because it is a prototype sample, and you can see lots of dust because it was obviously put together not in a clean room environment.
Yeah.
But the case itself, the way it wears, even the strap and the deployment buckle on it, everything's really, really good. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing more from these guys. And we've got a podcast out on Monday with both George Bamford and James himself discussing this watch, swearing a lot and wearing masks, which is weird, and not the kind that save you from viruses.
And have you tried to edit that podcast yet?
I have not tried. Why?
Right, okay. It just I'm curious as to what this audio quality.
It's going to sound like it was recorded in the Bat Cave.
Yeah, because James was in his garage and George moves around the microphone even more than I do. But the one question I think everyone is asking is, where in the area of Glasgow that you live did you find 3 bullets?
They were the casings outside your front door.
Oh, is that right? Right. Did I not tidy up after myself?
No.
Yeah, they're not bullet cases. They're missed opportunities, Rick.
Yeah, didn't pass. Okay. I'm not going to. I nearly said a bad thing there.
You see, this is why we do this live. It introduces jeopardy for Ricky.
Yeah.
Anyways,
somebody asked me on that picture there, Jody was being a cheeky bugger from Just One More Watch. He's like, what's the relevance of all the stuff? Well, the thing on the left is an Iron Man 2 replica helmet. And that ties in with the fact that Blackbadger does work for Robert Downey Jr., Mr. Iron Man. Yep. And the racing spark plug is out my race bike, and that's got an iridium tip, which is another not superconductor, but a very clever conducting material. And then the bullet casings were just there for the sort of Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man tie-in. So there you go.
Okay, I don't get the final reference.
You don't get anything at all. So you just go back to sleep.
I'll go back to sleep. There are lots of mask references on the podcast. Listen to that. So other things that have come out today, which I know at least one person on this call has purchased, and a couple I've certainly thought about, is this from Ming. So Dave, because you have purchased one of these, can you tell us the significance of the 1801 H41?
Yes and no. So the H41 is because it was the 41st iteration of the design of the process of this watch. So that's what that refers to, pretty much. Okay. Yeah. So that's what that refers to in the respect of, that this watch has gone through. Yeah, and last year they sold the precursor to this, which was the watch that they sold, the limited batch of kind of semi-prototypes that they had with the blue bezel.
Yep.
But this is the kind of final iteration of it. The numbers, I actually don't know. I don't know what the 18s and such parts of it is, but the secondary part, the 0.01, is where they've done different variants. So like you've previously had 0.01s and 0.03s, etc. Where you've had kind of iterations of it. But as to what the 18 is, yeah, who knows? Just a number. But
right, okay.
This is their first diver, which is or their first production diver, should I say, because they have actually sold prototype divers before. So a few nice features about it, actually. I think one being the size, actually, and that it's a 40mm case, so it's a real nice size for a diver. A lot of divers these days are a bit bigger. So 40mm is a pretty nice size for most people. The bracelet's quite interesting as well, in that it's a curved end in terms of where it meets the case.
Yes.
So it's a curved solid end with a quick release, but it retrofits any of the previous watches as well.
Because I noticed it doesn't actually hug into the base of the bezel. It still sits with a gap.
Yep.
Whereas a normal metal bracelet like that, you would expect the end link to fit right in this and leave no gap.
Yep.
So it'll be nicely jingly jangly. Has it got a helium escape valve in it, with it being 1,000 meters?
I
kind of on that border. I don't think it does.
Don't believe it does, but to be honest, with modern manufacturing tolerances,
yeah.
helium escape valves are not needed typically, even at that level now, that they just don't need them. A lot of people keep it maybe because of historical perspectives or because they think it looks cool or anything else. But frankly, it's just another nightmare that needs serviced, which isn't really relevant on modern watches from a need point of view.
And this loom is pretty rocking.
I was going to say that looks amazing, man. It's Tron as hell.
The loom's super cool. I mean, there's two variants as well. There's technically three, but there's two in terms of the watch head itself. There's two versions. There's the plain titanium case, like that picture, with the black bezel. These ones have a satin brushed dial on them with all the loom on it, and then there's a black. I don't know if you've got the pictures of the picture. If you pull the picture, it's got both watches in it. Keep going. There we go. So the one on the left there is the black DLC coated titanium, but the dial in it is like a black gloss lacquer dial in it. So the dials are actually different on the two of them.
Right. Okay.
The three variant comes from the black DLC comes on a black rubber Jean Rousseau strap, whereas the titanium and black one comes either on the titanium bracelet or on a Jean Rousseau rubber strap. But the bracelet is available separately.
Cool. So which did you go for?
The titanium with the black. I just prefer that kind of look to it. The all black's really cool, to be honest, but I just think I prefer the titanium against the black, a bit more contrast on it. To be honest, I would like the gloss
bracelet
dial
Did you get the bracelet or the strap?
I actually went for the strap purely because I'll pick the bracelet up at some point because they're not charging ridiculous money for the bracelet by any stretch, but I barely wear any watches on bracelets. I pretty much typically will buy on a bracelet if there's a big price differential, and then because quite often, like with most Omegas, the difference between buying it on a rubber or buying it on a bracelet's not a lot at retail. But if you buy if you buy aftermarket to buy the bracelet, it's ridiculously expensive. I think these bracelets are reasonable money, but I'll never wear it. So I thought, you know what, I'll get the rubber Jean Rousseau strap because that is how I'll wear it, frankly.
So who else considered this?
Considered, but passed.
Ralph, you were, I think,
maybe round two.
I was still thinking about it, but then it was sold out, so that saved my wallet.
Right. You've got the 22nd again coming up. They learned their lesson from the last time, to be honest, because a lot of fans of the brand took 5 or 6 minutes, a few minutes to consider what they wanted to do, and by the time they thought about it, it was gone. So they've deliberately kind of roughly split it 50-50 between two dates, which is a clever way of doing it. At least they're listening, to be honest. At least
I was going to say, that's good.
That's nice of them.
And Philogis, did you have a look at this?
Yeah, it's really nice. I think you don't have a lot of divers today that look very distinctly different from one another. And this one visually, I mean, it resembles nothing else in the market, which is very interesting. And I think the amazing part is it keeps consistency with its entire line. They are typically, dress watches, and dive watches are a complete different ball game. But this one is really nice. I don't like the curved end links of the bracelet though. I think if it's on a bracelet, if there's a gap there, it looks a bit odd. But I mean, it's a small thing.
In the chat, the guys at Watch With Us are making the same point that the gap would get on their nerves. But we'll see. I can see both sides of it from this one.
Well, the gap's there because titanium will fuse to itself, right? So they can't actually have it flush on the case.
Oh, right. Oh, I did not know that.
I did not know that.
I have a titanium bracelet with a titanium case.
Steel screws and stuff, just so they don't fuse under pressure.
That's why you don't get titanium.
I mean, a titanium bracelet against a titanium case, if it's just a friction, it's not even a friction fit. If it's just a close fit, it shouldn't fuse. To be honest, screw heads, sure, screw heads will fuse for sure because it's pressure and heat, but. It should. I mean, all the Omega titaniums, like the Seamaster 300s and such, they've got titanium bracelets with a case fit on them. Funnily enough, it's one thing that doesn't bother me. I don't bother about the gaps in the case. I know that a lot of folk get hung up on it, but it doesn't actually bother me, frankly, at all.
I feel like if it was just a straight bar on the end, people wouldn't be complaining because then it's like, oh, you went for that design. But
Prof, same, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that they curved it, and it's like, well, why is it touching the case? Like,
that's fair.
Although the curve, I think that's got more to do with that lug style they use because it's a super short lug. which you know what folk are like. You can't win for losing. It's like if you make it straight, you need longer lugs, so they'll moan that the lugs are too long and the watch looks too big and it's too tall top to bottom. So you put nice short lugs in it, and then you need to use a curved end link to make it fit, and then they moan that it doesn't case fit. You'll never win.
Right.
Right.
There we go. Well, it wasn't the only new release today. There.
Oh, Rick, did you see what I bought?
Oh no, hold on. Let me let's take this off of screen sharing so as we can all enjoy it. Right, go on then.
You must have seen what I bought.
Oh, yes, I did see this.
25 quid delivered. Not including the watches, unfortunately.
The case. Okay.
From Watch Obsession. It's like a super cheap Pelly ripoff. An homage Pelly case. Drink of that, Dave. Is that annoying you yet? Red Bar.
I think I paid $100 for the
He's raging.
Yeah.
You can see it in his eyes.
Look at his wee face. There we go.
How much is the Ming, by the way?
On
3,200, I think. On bracelet.
It's 2,950 Swiss francs for the titanium black on the rubber. It's 3,250 on the bracelet or the DLC. So
that's
that?
so much less than I would have thought. That's amazing.
2,500 it works out, or just shy of 2,500 UK or 2,700 something. So yeah, it's really good value for a 1,000 meter tie diver. It's pretty good value.
Yeah, totally. That's amazing.
Good stuff. Well, the other thing that is released today as well, I don't know whether this was a deliberate act on Revolution's part or not. It could have been.
What is
this? So
this is the new Chopard, Mont Blanc, Breguet. I don't know, what is this?
This is the Hanhart times the Rake edition bronze 417 chronograph.
I'm saying one thing. Why would you do a PVD bronze watch? That's all I'm saying in this matter.
That is weird.
Can someone explain to me what this is? Because I don't know anything about this. What?
So this is
why?
Steve McQueen was famous for actually probably, if you're a real watch geek, wearing Hanhart.
Really?
This was the watch he wore. Well, I think he's been photographing this more often than not. Was an old Hanhart.
Mm-hmm. It's usually the Monaco people associate him with, right?
Yes, but that's because that was in the movie.
That was a film.
Yeah. This was the watch he actually seems to have been photographed in quite regularly himself, as you can see from various photographs. And anyway, so Revolution have brought this out with Hanhart. I think it's 150 pieces, is it? Let me scroll down. But it's also, you also get for an additional 300 notes a Belstaff jacket chucked in at the same time. I quite like this because it's on a bund.
Oh God!
Oh no!
It's 19.
It's Rick Bingo, everybody. Rick Bingo.
Yeah.
Did he mention the JLC story? He doesn't believe. Has he mentioned crashing Bremont planes?
Anyway, so I quite like this. I don't care what you all think because I'm incredible.
Revolution can't stay away from the buns. Oh my God. Sorry, go ahead.
It's me and Waco were staying strong on the old bunded chronographs. I think this is not a bad shout. There appears to be 22 of them left because if you try to add 23 to the basket, it would
that old chestnut.
The old trick still works.
It does. You can add 22. In fact, we actually do it live and see if it's reduced by any more. Has anyone got experience of Hanhart? I've got one on kind of,
theft,
loan or return or something.
Not yet, but I have one coming in tomorrow.
Oh, do you?
Hopefully.
We're not one of these.
Did you buy it?
No. Yes, it's a SK60. It's pretty nice. I wanted a pilot. I wanted a German-made pilot, and I saw that it's a limited edition celebrating the Saab something training plane of the Austrian Air Force.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. It's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, okay. When you think Air Forces, you automatically think the Swedes and the Austrians.
Exactly. It's
really
like slightly below Top Gun, just a bit.
I like this fella that I found. I don't know if you'll be able to see my phone screen, but this guy, it's like retro Jordan 1 color scheme. I'm really into that. I love a bit of black and red, but
this is how watch brands figure out what are you doing, Rick.
This is showing you can get 22.
Oh.
But you can't get if you try. So I can get 22 of them right now. I can update the basket to 22. Let's see if it updates. Yeah, but I can't get 23. So
does that mean no one's bought one in like the last hour and a half?
Rick
or
has
so?
just stopped everybody else buying because he's added 22 to his basket.
It's like when 50 Cent bought up the first few rows of a Ja Rule concert when he was beefing with Ja Rule.
Yeah,
it's basically the same thing.
Exactly.
You know what? We should start. We should start doing that. I mean, I don't have the money for it, but someone else can do it.
I mean, we did one of the Houdinky releases. We did report on the live countdown by refreshing the screen and posting it on Instagram until we copied Houdinky on it, and eventually they figured it out and went into their system and jinxed it so you could only add them one at a time. But there you go. So that's that. Scottish Watches changing the way the world shops for watches.
Trendsetters.
Anyway, I'm going to close the Revolution window just so that I've not actually completely banjaxed their entire behind the scenes shooting match. So other story developing this week, and I know that Edwin is a big fan of everything that the Murdoch Empire do.
Love him. Absolutely love him.
So
I have a guillotine in my heart, especially for him.
This website knows how to do adverts, doesn't it?
Concrete.
Jesus Christ.
What have we got?
Batman needs a lot of advertising these times.
Yeah, there we go.
Rick,
that's proportionally more adverts.
Oh my God, more adverts.
So I don't know if has anybody watched the BBC series? I don't know if it's available in BBC Overseas about the Murdoch Empire and Fox News and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
I haven't.
It's been
Is this the Succession one? The HBO series? Oh yeah, that's the fictionalized.
No, that's the fictional one. There is actually a 3-part real version of it.
And
Rick,
are you hovering, Rick, over the Baselworld black hole where all your money goes?
Yes. Yeah, there we go. And the real life BBC one finishes with James Murdoch falling out with the rest of his family because he does appear to have a small conscience hiding in there somewhere. And then just after it broadcast, he actually resigned from News International board or whatever. So he's doing his own thing. And that has coincided with this big investment from his own private equity fund into Baselworld, which was reported on a couple of weeks ago, but he's now upped it again with even more money. So it appears that the focus is very much going to be on Art Basel. Has anybody ever been to Art Basel?
He would not let me in.
So
they'd spear tackle me at the door.
I wonder if it was like Art Garfunkel. If you go there, does Paul Simon appear on the list? So anyway, that's the Murdoch's taken over what is now called our universe. So there you have it.
I'm particularly taken by the Garmin advert, the American Magic Edition. Is that where you pay £10 million to some Russians?
Is that this? No, that's Fossil. Where's the Garmin advert? Is that this? Oh,
where's the
Garmin advert?
Left to your right.
I thought to the page to your left there, Ricky.
I wasn't seeing this, but I was seeing this and thinking it just said Mark. Is it Maro on it or Mark? Mark.
If you read the bit says Mark underneath, it might give the game away.
Mark, Captain, American Magic. Is this Mark? Is it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Watchpro reporting that. I still think it sounds to me like they're just making up as they go along. Basel.
It's the Scottish Watches way.
Do you think It's We Time was James Murdoch's idea? Do you think that was his thing? He was like, oh yeah, I'll become your I don't know how these people work, your CEO, whatever it is, but only if the catchphrase from the new Basel can be "It's We Time," baby.
Yeah. So there we have it.
Maybe it's a coded message to Donald Trump. Somebody has the tapes.
It's not even a coded message. I think he's just telling everyone. I think he's just telling everyone what he gets up to, which is,
If you want to code a message to Donald Trump, you just need to speak English. It'll still take him about 3 years to decipher it.
What is it? It is what it is. That's it. Baselworld. It is what it is. There we go. Right, let's share this because this is apparently still happening, which is Geneva Watch Days.
All right.
Is still going on. Does anybody intend to go? Who's near? Any of you guys near Geneva? No one's near Geneva.
Didn't Gigi say he was going to go?
Yeah. It would have been
so.
handy had he been on this.
You did, Paul.
Call, but yeah. So Gigi takes the. So I don't know whether it's going to happen or not. All these brands are still talking about it, but it's literally a few days away. Well,
the Haraj thing's going ahead.
Is it? What are they actually doing?
I don't know.
Is it just a get together? You're just going for a giggle?
I think.
Well,
I don't know.
I read the article about the Geneva Watch Days, and every brand is doing their thing at their own individual place, whether it's a boutique or like a hotel. So there's no like central gathering.
So you can just spread it around as you walk around Geneva.
Yeah, it's all over the city.
In one place. That's really handy. Okay. So I asked everyone, and I don't know if anyone's done any homework, to suggest a micro brand that had just maybe taken their attention in the last few days. Bear in mind we've had Ming this morning. It's kind of smaller brand rather than just micro brand. Hanhart's a smaller brand. The one that's caught my attention this week has been these guys for no particular reason other than this just keeps on reminding me of the Porsche design, but this is pretty cool. I like this a lot. I've never seen one in the flesh. This is AutoDromo. Anyone come across one of these?
These guys have been around for a long time.
Yeah, nice.
Seen these before.
I had the worn and wound edition of that watch for like a year.
Nice.
It's pretty nice.
I have
what they do is they look at the design philosophies of old rally cars and things from the 70s and 80s. If you look at the font choices, they're quite reminiscent of that style of stuff, like Audi Quattros and all the rest of it.
Right.
Do they have a data integrale?
Yeah, that's it. I've got the steel one with orange markers and stuff, black and orange dial, and it looks really, really similar to that Delta Integrale tachometer. It's pretty cool.
Do you have the one on the bracelet? Because before they only came on like NATO's, right? The bracelet.
Yeah, they call it the Series 2 when they switch to the bracelet. I do have it. I wear it probably half and half on a NATO though, because the bracelet does pinch hairs a little bit. That's my only complaint. I love the watch otherwise. It's really.
Does that logo
really
not look a little bit like the Panerai logo?
There are some similarities.
You're not wrong.
Go pull it up.
What
does the Panerai one look like?
There is a little bit of that.
You've gone incognito, eh?
He was very quick getting past that P letter there.
Yeah.
Paneria.
Let's find some images.
Autofill off.
Did I go back? I must have. I've clearly typed it. I've misspelled Panerai.
Paneria.
There's one mark in there.
Typing too fast there, Rick.
Yeah, I did, right. I'm trying to find something that's got the logo. I know the logo you mean, but I can't. Go to the website.
Yeah, when he typed in cream-filled patisserie, that's not what he was expecting.
Still not getting right there. I still can't spell it. I'm wearing one. There we go.
Have a look.
See what we can see. I don't know. Do they use the logo?
There it is.
On the dials. They're
OP.
Oh, they're on that one. Yeah.
Some do.
Some do. So let's compare that.
On the base models, they have the logo. Base logo.
A little bit.
See if I can get them side by side by the power vested in me.
Well, one is AD and the other is OP. So there you go. Pretty similar.
So there you go. There is the Panerai logo, and where has our logo?
I don't know what's happening.
On there.
Rick, I'm getting epilepsy here, mate.
Anyway, they look the same. I just conclude with that. So
Rick's just signed himself up to 14 newsletters.
That's probably true. Right. So anybody else want to bring something to the table to talk about? Small.
What watch would Jesus wear?
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Right. Okay.
Well, at the time, nothing.
Well, we have had
A sundial strapped to his wrist.
Would it be
It
the
falls
whole
through the hole.
like hourglass?
The Tissot rock watch from many years ago.
That's a good one to roll it away after
Stoning is in the Bible.
All right.
Like
Okay. We had some good answers on the Facebook group. We had who blew big bangs for the whole Big Bang versus creationism thing. We had an omega because of the alpha and omega. That was a good suggestion. And there was another one that I missed. So what was it? Noah would wear a Yachtmaster for obvious reasons. So I thought that was quite a good game. But
I like that one.
That's about as far as it's got. So there we have it. Good. So anyone got anything else they wish to contribute to the show? Microbrands?
Yeah, I quite like Monta. I've never seen one, but everybody seems to be super happy about it. But are they still a microbrand or are they already an independent?
I think we can count them at relevant for this conversation.
The new multicolored thingy is well cool.
Because learned copy and paste is better than trying to type stuff in.
Yeah, absolutely. Use one screen. Let's decline that. Do they have a live? What I want to know is, do they have a live chat like last week?
What happened last week?
We had a live chat with, what was that watch called? Use the Nivachrome.
The Norcane. The Norcane.
Yeah.
Norcane. So we had a live chat box, so we asked them a question on the live chat. And
what did you ask?
We asked as to why they didn't use a silicon hairspring.
Okay.
So
did they know?
They did. Well, not really. They said that they were using the Nivachrome instead, which was really advanced.
And it's really good. Really
good. Really good.
Yeah. They said it was really good. Okay.
They didn't say Judah didn't give it to us. So,
so Monta, this is quite like this. This is quite interesting. Gilt dial. That's all right. Yeah. I take that.
I think that's very, very, very cool. What is your philologist? You're wearing a Monta right now, right?
Yeah. The Triumph.
Hold up.
I didn't see it properly in the beginning.
Hold up to the screen. Talk. Need to say something so as I can see you.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Can
you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the current editions are the best because they come with the quick adjustment bracelet.
Oh,
so
cool.
You can just move it up and down. So that used to be on the Ocean King alone. And I think just, a couple of months ago, they expanded it. And I think if anyone's on the fence, now's the time to get one. Because I think they had a podcast with 40 and 20 a couple of weeks ago. And they were saying that... yeah, they were saying that they were actually planning a price increase this year. Actually, I've heard about this for I think since Wind Up last year. But because of the whole virus thing, they were holding back because it's just not appropriate to raise prices now. So they are looking to raise it in I don't know, when things get better, I think. So this is probably, I think it's the best combination of like their innovations in terms of the bracelet, as well as they've redesigned the cases slightly currently. So it's probably the best value you can get.
Yeah, so you quality-wise, you feel that they're like on above their price level?
Oh, definitely. The finishing is really good. And if you look, it's really, I think all the fine details are done really well. I mean, the class as good as it is, it's not a Rolex, but I mean, the price is far below. So it's definitely punches above its weight.
Well, are these the guys that not started out doing Everest straps for Rolex? That's not the same company?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it's basically a sister brand.
Same person.
Yeah, well, but I think they have
Everest straps and they're really, really good. So
I noticed they've not put us in the bottom here.
It doesn't say 10 and 2 either, so it's
That's
fine.
True. Aye. So there we go. Cool. Anybody else want me to look at something? Or are we done for the day? Or anybody get anything they're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to some sleep once I get all these articles, videos, podcasts edited that we had to throw out 11 days before they were supposed to come out. Oh, man.
Oh, no.
So, yes. Yeah, we have these guys to thank for that. So do we know are we allowed to name the person whose fault it was?
Why is Dave shaking his head?
On the basis that it wasn't, on the basis it wasn't my right. We'll leave the person to their own devices. What we have got on the website, just in conclusion, then, is some other bits and pieces. We have a Q&A that Edwin put together with Batavi. Is it Batavi? Is that how you would pronounce it?
Batavi, I believe.
Batavi. Oh, Batavi. You can tell you're from Edinburgh.
Aye.
So I quite like these.
Oh, they're cute.
I think these are pretty cool looking.
They're different.
Yeah. Lots of different options.
Not for everyone, but they do a particular thing well. So it is what it is.
Right, and scroll down a little bit. Scroll down.
We're here.
A little bit more. See that thing go up a bit? See that newsletter thing? People should use this.
Oh, right. Where am I should...
Up that.
There we go. Sign up for the newsletter.
See, our newsletter doesn't pop up and annoy the hell out of you. You know, we're a little bit more under the radar.
Yet.
That's it.
We then have Chris put together a wee survey of all things Cassiope with some great shots from the Dial Artist and some others. There's the money shot between the Cassiope and the Royal.
It's close.
It's worth a look. And then earlier in the week, again from Edwin, and then one from Philogis, we had the instrument. Again, these are all right for what they are.
It's cracking. I mean, again, it's not for everyone, but it's really, 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 really well done for what it is. I was incredibly impressed by it. You know, it's a similar thing to why SW's got a good relationship with people like Haraj and stuff. Like, they are really, really good people who are doing the right kind of things the right way for the right reasons, irrespective of whether you're into the whole minimalist chic. The amount of attention to detail and effort they put into sourcing appropriate parts and doing their homework on the stuff that they needed to get right. It
How
really
much
took
is
me
that
by surprise. It's like 600-ish, I think.
What's in it?
Salita.
Nice.
So it's really well made. The bracelet, which I thoroughly recommend anyone who would get it on, is cracking. It's really solid end links, great safety clasp, super robust. It's just really well done. I mean, again, there's things about it that they didn't quite get right, which I talk about in review, and I've talked to Ross from Instrument directly about as well. And they're people who are very, very open to criticism. They take what they do very seriously. So, and the fact that they're Scottish is, of course, for me that's a plus, but it's almost just a bonus. They're genuinely doing good stuff, and they deserve more recognition than they're currently getting. Glasgow.
Oh, cool.
They do nice furniture as well, Ricky.
Yeah, they do a bunch of stuff.
They do an awesome umbrella as well.
Yeah, they do umbrella. They did a bike as well.
Yeah, the bikes.
So yeah. But yeah, really, really good company. A company to keep an eye on, because if as I kind of assumed this to be, this is kind of a statement of them going, we're going to start doing things on a certain level now, because we've got Anne Ordain in Scotland, but we don't have anyone doing tool watches and things that are super well spec'd and super rugged. But now we do. So
we have to pay them a visit.
Yeah, no, I'd recommend it.
with bullets.
With bullets.
I was going to say you might want to rephrase the kind of like the tone of that before you visit them. But other than that, yeah, you should definitely visit them.
What's wrong? Did I sound like Paul Thorpe a little bit?
Yeah. Has anyone watched his recent video?
Which one?
How's that going to do?
The one about
do you not know who I am?
Oh, that's the one. Jesus. Honest to God.
So we've spoken offline a few times. Annie, myself and Ricky have both spoken to Paul a few times. And I hope he sees the funny side of this, because he put out this video whereby he goes on about it surprises him how many folk don't recognise him when he walks in. I mean, Ricky, when we they roll out the red carpet for us all the time. We've never not been recognised.
Correct.
Especially Rick, yeah.
So there we go. And then Philogis is also, just actually on the day that Ming have released new, has put this follow-up article to the whole previous Ming health and risks debate, just looking at, is there anything new under the sun?
Is that a wee quote from you?
Of design. No, actually, that's from the blog. Yes, he knows that one all very well by himself. He did not need my assistance. But we're now going to try and get Bible verses into every podcast.
Get Bible John verses into every podcast.
It seems to have touched a nerve somewhere.
As long as it's Old Testament, we're all good.
Good stuff. Anyway,
I will smite you later.
The juicy bits.
Yeah. So there we have it. So anyone got anything else they wish to contribute to today's show? If not, we'll call it quits. Shall we quickly go around the room? Arthur, you're still sunning it up. You coming home to anything exciting in the world of watches? You got the show on this Sunday?
Yeah, Dan and I are doing our live this Sunday, noon Eastern US time, 5 p.m. UK. We're going to go back sort of in our history and tell our origin stories, how we got into watches, and then just talk a little bit about how different people approach it, discovering the hobby and stuff like that. So I'm going to be staying down here in Florida for a bit. I'm just missing my other watches. I only brought a couple with me, but they're getting good wear.
Good stuff. And Ralph,
you need to get one of those travel cases that Ricky was selling.
Yeah. I mean, I brought three or four with me, but I just miss the variety,
Did you take your travel clock with you?
No, but I bought my Planet Ocean and my Panerai, and they're almost as big, so whatever.
What I want to know, Ricky, is why did we not put up an affiliate link for these blooming boxes? Because we seem to be selling them for hotcakes and getting. Did you at least get yours for free? No,
paid for it.
It's terrible. You're not doing this right. All these guys.
It wasn't a $5,000 watch, Rick, so I don't need to hold on to it for 10 years without paying.
True. So, anyone else got something exciting happening? Ralph, Derek, Sean, what's going on?
I got my Hanhart coming tomorrow, and then I have this enabler friend who always gets me into these watches that are like novelty watches, like the Timex Q and now the Timex Pac-Man digital watch. And that doesn't even ask if I want it. It's just like gold, silver, or black.
So you've got that coming as well.
Yeah.
It's really cool actually. Mine arrived last week. They're really good.
It doesn't play Pac-Man. It's just got a Pac-Man picture on it. It doesn't actually play.
No, it's got a button that only plays the Pac-Man song.
All right.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's cool.
That's funny.
Because
I got one too.
Because we're all still at school. Good
Dave,
stuff. Edwin,
the thing we're up to.
What? Go on then.
Are we allowed to?
Which depends which one we're talking about.
The thing you've organised for next week? No.
The thing that's arriving that we're going to do a video with.
Yeah, well, not allowed to talk about that yet.
No. Yes. It's under embargo, so probably not.
Wait for him to put the photos on at 8 a.m. 2 weeks beforehand, and then we can talk about it.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, we could probably mention the brand.
Okay, on you go.
I like that. You're like I'm not saying anything, so nobody says it. Something with Vertex. Who are a British brand that have quite a cool history. I mean, I wouldn't say they're a micro brand, but they're not a big brand by any stretch, but certainly have history within military watches. And we can't say anything, but there's a big anniversary of something coming up really soon.
Moon landing. No.
Someone,
we've done that already.
Someone needs to feed him socks.
Edwin, what depressing things have you got to look forward to this week, or is it just death?
My life.
Living in Edinburgh.
Another day of being alive in Edinburgh. It's a constant tragedy. I've got a few things happening. A bunch of reviews. We got 7 Friday, Louis Erard, Miles, a few other things, a bunch of features, a bunch of Q&A type things.
Cool.
Whole load of stuff.
Right. Well, thank you all very much for joining us this week. There has been some chat. So there we go. That's good. So wave to everybody. Say goodbye. Goodbye from me. Goodbye from them. You're allowed to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.